Now, would you know if you were being scammed by a friend? Now, it happened to a woman who's in the papers today. This is after her best friend conned her out of nearly £30,000 because she claimed she was waiting for a big money payout and that she just needed a little bit of extra cash to tide her over. She has been jailed for 3.5 years for fraud, and her, well, now former friend, said she was like family to me. I hope she'll finally begin to realise the pain, hurt and suffering that she has caused. I mean, you feel for her, Coleen, don't you? Because, I mean, it's bad enough being scammed. We read about scams all the time. We've interviewed people who've been scammed and, you know, they always feel a bit embarrassed about, you know, how could I have been so stupid? But when it's your best mate...
When it's your best mate, it's hard. And that, you know, I hope she realises the upset and all of that she's caused. That's the upset within yourself and the disappointment. And the disappointment in your own judgment of character. You know, I had a very, very close friend who wasn't very well off and all of that, but lovely. I loved being around her and we were such good friends. And obviously when we went out, I'd say, you know, oh, don't worry, I'll get it for you, I'll get it for you. Or she'd say, she'd want something and very, you know, subtly go, I mean, I'd love that, but I can't afford it. And of course, your natural thing as a friend would go, it's fine, I'll get it, I'll get it. And it was other friends that started to go, have you noticed that this is happening? Like, she's putting the idea of, oh, it'd be nice if we could go out for lunch today, but of course I can't afford it. Have you noticed she's doing that all the time? Little things. And I ended up spending...
And you hadn't noticed till somebody pointed it out?
No, I hadn't noticed, because I loved her, you know, she's my best friend. And then I put it to the test. I ended up, you know, spending a lot of money on her, and I put it to the test and thought, I'm going to not offer it anymore. I'm going to say, wait for her to say it, or we'll go out and I'll go, by the way, this is half, you know, we're paying half today. And from that moment, within a couple of weeks, to this day, I've never seen that friend again.
You know what the sad thing about that is her expectation, because she, you know, felt you had money or...
But I since found out after that she'd done it to a lot of people. Came up and said, yeah, she befriended me for a while, and then when she got what she needed, she left. But you know what? It was a learning curve for me. But what I don't want to become is that person then that mistrusts everyone. Yeah. You know, because I think it's lovely if you can help someone else.
Doesn't it, to help a friend in need?
Yeah,
even if they haven't asked for it, it's a good feeling to say, look, I can afford this at the moment, you can't. Let's not talk about it. Let me just do that for you or get that for you. But there's a fine line if you think someone then is taking it a bit too far.
Yeah, I think people fall into two camps, don't they? Like the lady you're describing, or you have friends who you can see that they've just suddenly hit on hard times and they maybe can't even pay a bill. Yeah. In which case, and I think I would always give money to somebody on the basis that it's something I can afford not to get back.
Yeah.
And what you're talking there is like 30 grand, that's such a lot of money. And it's funny with scams because we are very aware of scams now, and you sort of think, well, if I was on a dating app or something and I met a guy and he said, yes, I work for MI5 or something, you know, it's like, or airline pilot or anything that requires being away for a long period of time, your antenna goes up. But with a female friend, it wouldn't. You would think, well, you're my friend and I trust you and you trust me. And
it's not instant, it's over time.
I think, look, the reality of it personally from, you know, reading it, that wasn't your friend. And there's many of us, and unfortunately, that would be in that circumstances, is about looking at the pattern of their behaviour. It wasn't a friend in the first place. And some of the stuff some of the stuff she bought, sofa and so on. Obviously, I've been on both sides of the coin in regards to borrowing money and lending money. And you never want to lend money and only expect them to spend it in a certain area. But I know the close people around me, if that was the case when I've borrowed or lent, it's for something important. It's not for a sofa or, you know, a new brand new TV. It's to pay the electric bill or a debt collector that's coming to your house. And that's where we're sometimes so polite because you feel a way that you don't step in and say, well, actually, yes, I've got a bit of spare, but that's for emergency for me. So if you need it, it has to be emergency for you. And I think it's about that respect. Any money I've ever borrowed is always making sure you pay it back because it's the respect that someone else has put their self out for you.
Absolutely.